Hey guys, so I'm going to start out by responding to something that James said on Monday and then try and tie that in with what Spencer and Katie said on Tuesday and Friday, respectively. Thursday? So James, on Monday you said that you have a difficult time thinking about what you like, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go rewatch this video because I don't feel like explaining it again, but I feel like I'm in a similar situation. You said that you have had people in your past dictate to you what you like and what you're good at and what you're interested in. I don't feel like that's necessarily the same for me, but I do still feel like I don't know, and I'm still trying to find out what I like or what my interests are. And it's a very difficult situation to be in, especially at our age where we're going into post-secondary education and you're expected to know what you want to do with your life, and that requires knowing what your interests are because you're going to go into something that you're interested in. But if you don't know what your interests are, how do you know what you're going to go into in college or university? And so I came to this conclusion that I would tell you guys why I'm in computer science, which is not something that I like to admit. I am in computer science at university because I liked my programming class in grades 11 and 12, and that's it. That was the basis of my decision, was that I liked that class, and I had no other options because I didn't know what else I was interested in. I found computers interesting, so I went into them, and now I'm not so sure. And I know that a lot of other people face this problem, but a lot of other people don't have it as bad as me. I feel like I'm throwing a pity party for myself now, though, which is not good at all. But it's very difficult because I don't know what I'm passionate about, and I don't know what I want to do with my life, so I feel like if I back out of computer science because I find out that it's not actually what I want to do with my life, I won't know what to do, and I'll be stuck, and I won't know where to go. And this brought me to a Tumblr post, which I read yesterday from Alan Listowka of DFTBA fame. He was talking about what you need in order to be an entrepreneur, not that I want to be an entrepreneur or anything, but one of the things he said you need is passion for the industry that you're going into, otherwise you're going to back out because it's not going to be interesting and you're not going to want to do it. And I figured out I have no passions, or at least I don't know what my passions are at the moment, and that's a problem because if I don't know what I'm passionate about, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do with my life? It's a terrible situation to be in, but it's something that I really need to work on, and I don't look forward to that. I feel like this ties into what Katie and Spencer was saying, because Katie was talking about how when you realize you don't like a thing anymore, it sort of causes a weird havoc going on in your brain because you identified yourself, and Spencer was talking about this as well, where you identified yourself with that thing, whatever it may be, whether it be hockey or computer science. You identified yourself with that, and you can no longer do that anymore because you no longer do it anymore. And so it's not so much that you're losing hockey or that you're losing your interest in something, it's that you've lost that part of yourself, or that part of yourself has changed, and you have to think about yourself in a different way. Because like Spencer said, we like to keep things simple as people, and we like to simplify people themselves, even though we're very complicated beings. We try to keep things as simplistic as possible, and that includes ourselves. And so we like to identify ourselves as people who do certain things, and people who like certain things, and people who don't do or don't like certain things as well. And when one of those changes, you have to re-identify, you have to re-evaluate who you are, and that's a very difficult thing to do sometimes, I feel. It's a very difficult process. Off that topic though, because that's kind of depressing, I was thinking about what Spencer said yesterday about how language simplifies things, and I sort of agree, but I sort of don't, and I think that's the first time I've ever disagreed with Spencer. Mark that on your calendars, guys. I feel like language often complicates things more than it simplifies things. I mean, I can understand that idealistically, language is supposed to allow you to pinpoint exactly what you're feeling or exactly what you want to express, and with the wide vocabulary and the great language that we have, we're supposed to be able to say that. But I feel like a lot of the time we're not able to because there's too many choices. There's too many ways to say something that each have their own different meaning, their own different connotation, and that people will take them different ways, and that goes back to that old conversation, and it becomes very difficult to say what you want to say the right way, and so it doesn't actually simplify things, at least not the way I'm thinking about it. It makes things much more complicated, and in order to simplify things, you'd have to actually simplify the language itself, and as strange as this might sound, while watching Spencer's video, I immediately thought of the book 1984 by George Orwell, I think it is. Basically, towards the end of the book, there's this Big Brother organization that's trying to prevent thought crime against the organization, which is basically the government itself. And so in order to prevent thought crime, which is basically just thinking about doing things that are against the law, which shouldn't be against the law in the first place, they would have to prevent you being able to think that, and the only way to do that would be to change the language so drastically that you would only be able to think things and do things and say things that are following the law. And so they simplified, or they were trying to simplify the language so much that you would only be able to do things that were within the bounds of the law. And I feel like that's the only way that language could actually be simple, where one word has one specific meaning and you can only use it in one way, and it means one specific, precise little thing, and there's only so many words, you can only express so many things, and that would be a simple language. And we don't have that at all, because we have like millions of words that we can use, and our language is so complicated, the rules of it and the connotations behind it, that I don't think it simplifies things at all. I think it makes things a lot more complicated. So I think that's the first time I've ever disagreed with Spencer, and I kind of feel good about it because I'm finally not agreeing with something, which is really awesome. So I'm going to leave it on that. Please leave challenge suggestions for me down below, because I have no idea what I'm doing on Friday. I was going to do something that was suggested to me by the rest of the Across the 49thers, but it required me to go outside, and it's really, really like record-breaking advice to stay inside hot this week, so I don't think I can do that. Sorry. Katie, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.